Welcome back to the Oracle Scroll. Today, we are rebuilding. Hi, I'm Kevin Walder, your host for the Oracle Scroll. And today we're looking at card number 26, Rebuilding. This is another one of those cards that requires us to take a long, hard look at ourselves and decide how we're going to restore and rebuild. Now, earlier we talked about a card that was titled Rebirth. We talked about how that was different than just a remodeling project. That was an actual reconcept or reconception of exactly what we needed to place in that footprint. Now, rebuilding is rebirth light, let's say. It isn't quite to the same extent as rebirth, but it's kind of the maintenance that we need to do along the way to keep ourselves spiritually in connection so that we know exactly that the information we receive is exactly what we need and is factual, is beneficial for us and everyone with whom we may share it. Rebuilding, as I said about the rebirth card, if you think about it as a project at home, if you're going to try to improve your environment at home, you may choose to rebuild. You may choose to reinforce something that has grown weak over time. Materials do begin to fatigue after a while, and there may be some squeaks and some sags in places that they just don't belong, or they aren't attractive at least. So that's when rebuilding begins. It's more than just slapping on another coat of paint. It's more than just buying a throw pillow. It is actually a bit structural, but without the going back to the drawing boards, and it's replacing what was there. Replacing what was there with perhaps stronger material, replacing what was there with perhaps more more practical items that were designed for the kind of workout that they're getting nowadays, because it may have changed totally from its original purpose. So rebuilding is important, and think of it as maintenance. Think of it as something that you just do on a regular basis to make sure that everything stays as good as possible. Rebuilding is something that we can do for ourselves, and it is also something that we can do to help our fellows. Again, we can't take over the project. We can't redesign. That's not our job. If they are asking for assistance in rebuilding and understanding themselves as they do so, that's where we can come in and actually be very helpful. But we have to make sure that we don't enforce our values on someone who is asking for our assistance. That is not our job. That is not where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be helping them to find their own route to rebuilding. Rebuilding is something that we can't put off forever. As anyone who's ever owned a home will know, that that deferred maintenance will catch up and bite you every time. So taking care of things as they go along and as they come up is very important to make sure that you retain the value of the property. You retain the functionality of the property. So rebuilding is something that we are going to be doing within ourselves on a regular basis. We may be rebuilding every month. And this past year of 2020, with all of the strangeness that has accompanied it, we are experiencing an opportunity to rebuild that we've never had before. We don't have the normal things to distract us, so we can actually spend a lot more time developing our own skills and rebuilding with better equipment. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Oracle Scroll. Please visit my website at kevinwalder.com, where you can purchase any of the services that I offer. Also, check out my books, Tarot for Lunch, Lessons from the Cards, and 22 Teachers, Healing Lessons from the Major Arcana. Both are available now at amazon.com. And most importantly, never miss another episode. Click below, click the subscribe button and the bell to make sure you're always up to date.